Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I'm Jess of Just Neary Feng Shui, and we have a very special guest joining us, joining myself actually today for a beautiful conversation all around creating intentional wardrobes. If you're here with Feng Shui or for the Feng Shui, oh, there's Amanda. Perfect. Okay. From Simply Stylish, just about to jump on with myself. I was mentioning if you're here, hi Amanda,
Hey, Jess.
how are you?
Good.
Good. I was just starting to do a brief little introduction on our conversation today. And I was saying, if you're here for feng shui, looking to improve yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, create an intentional environment is totally what I'm about. It's what I do in my day to day with clients for my own home space. And that naturally progresses to looking at my clothes, looking at my wardrobe, and looking at how I can create a wardrobe that's intentional, but that's supporting me also mentally, physically, and spiritually as well. And so I feel like it's a very natural conversation or a natural step in this whole evolution of looking at having an intentional life and making those conscious intentional shifts in our lives, to look at our wardrobe and our clothing as well. So I'm really happy to have yourself, Amanda, here with me. Now, Amanda is, I think she lives like 25 minutes from myself. I'm in Hampton, New Brunswick, and I believe you're in Quispam.
I am.
Yeah, so physically we're super close, yet years ago I actually started following your business page here on Instagram and on Facebook as well. Um, like 2 years ago. So I feel like I've been following your progress, your own journey. And I know in 2020, you had helped me look at my wardrobe and really started to change my dialogue too around how I can best set myself up for success. And I always found, when I go in my wardrobe, I open the doors often. And this was from my maternity days. I look at my wardrobe and I think, oh, I'm not really feeling the best. I think I want to put on some comfy clothes and just kind of sink into that space of comfort. And as seemingly well intended it was, I really feel like my clothing didn't really set me up for that success that I really wanted and that feeling that I really wanted to invoke in myself. So now instead of going to my wardrobe and saying, okay, how am I feeling? And I want to dress for that, it's more, how do I want to feel? What do I have going on the day? And how do I want to show up? And then starting to build a wardrobe around that intention. And it has shifted so much in my own wardrobe, going through and decluttering so much clothes that I don't wear anymore, doesn't fit. I mean, that has little repairs on it, that sort of thing. So, really happy to have you here with us.
Well, I'm so glad to be here. So thank you for the invite. You and I are very much aligned about thinking about intention in our lives, how we want to feel, what type of life we want to create. And
Mm,
sometimes that can like shoot us by because we're so busy
yeah,
or on like a goal, the next thing, or even about like even feeling pressured to live a certain life because we've been
yeah,
told, well, this is how you're supposed to live, or you'll be happier if you live this type of life or dress this type of way. And so sometimes we can look outward for those answers, but they're
yeah,
all in. All those answers
right.
are inside. And that's what I help women with when it comes to their wardrobes. Often they are looking outside of themselves for the answers. And I mean, obviously, there's always education and tools and tips and things to help you along the way. But where I start with my students and my clients is the inward. It's that self discovery of
Yeah.
what does, how do you want to feel? Asking yourself, how do you
Mm,
want to feel in your wardrobe, is the number one key. And it's first off, usually a question women ask themselves. They usually end up asking themselves the wrong questions, like, is
Mm-hmm.
it on sale?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I love a good sale, but when
Right.
we have the sale driving us only,
Right.
it takes the decision out of ourselves because we're letting something external sway
Mm.
us. And sometimes a question they ask themselves is like, how can I fade into the background? Or how can I
Yeah,
myself
absolutely.
body? And so then they let
Mm.
restrictions and fear of judgment and even body shame guide those decisions instead of going inward. And so for me, an intentional wardrobe is one where we're wearing the majority of the clothes in our closet. Like, I don't think
Yeah,
we're all going to wear 100% of our closet. Like, I think that's an unreasonable
sure.
expectation. I think, you know, how our life changes from month to month can affect that. Also, having a few pieces in our wardrobe just for special occasions is okay. So, my goal really is that we're wearing like at least 80 to 90% of our wardrobe on a regular basis. And
Right.
intentional wardrobe is one that supports how we want to feel. So,
Yeah.
like, it supports how we want to feel in our body. It's also an expression of who we are without really having to say words. And it helps us
Right.
connect with ourselves again and what makes us feel good. And an intentional wardrobe is also one that supports the body we have today, not the one we
Mm.
had in the past, not
Hmm.
baby, not post baby, not the body you might want to have a year from now. It's the body you have right now. And so many
Right now.
have so much fear about letting go of clothes that no longer fit them because, well, they're
Yeah.
again, or they might have attached some kind of association to letting
Yeah.
go of a piece of clothing that no longer fits. They might think, oh, well, if I let go of this piece, then I've given up. I'm like,
Hmm.
no, it's the opposite. It means that you're like tuning back in and you're
Yeah.
accepting where you are and supporting yourself right now in the body you have today. And if you don't have clothes that make you feel good and support the body you have today, like, what is that telling? What are you telling to yourself?
Yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
And also,
Definitely.
an intentional wardrobe is the one that that's currently supporting the lifestyle you have. So, like,
Yeah.
a lot of us are working from home, and so our wardrobe
That's right.
have shifted. And how can
Yeah.
we look at getting really clear on, like, we don't know when life will go back to normal, and even if it does for some of us, so
That's right.
we bring into our wardrobe to support where we are right now.
I love that so much because I feel like working from home now, mind you, I have been working from home since our first baby was born 7 years ago. So I've gone through this phase myself, and I found last year, last spring especially, when everybody was kind of at home in like lockdown situation, it's so much easier to reach for the sweats, to reach for, the baggy oversized sweaters, and then just wear that as kind of like the COVID uniform, if you will. And I felt like there was a moment where, and this is when your work had stepped into my life even more so, when I had chose to um, purchase the workbook and worksheet, was to make those conscious shifts because I didn't want to feel blah. I didn't want to feel like I'm comfortable all the time. Myself, I learn and grow so much outside my comfort zone, and so I felt like, including a red lip, for example. One piece that I did choose to incorporate after some posts I had seen from yourself, the leopard cardigan. I mean, having an animal print was never something that I felt super confident in, but when I put it on, it's like this whole other side kind of comes out, gets expressed and is seen. And I find that to be so fascinating. I naturally am curious about how we're influenced and what can help shape our behavior and our attitudes and our positive mindset. So it like stepped me up and put me out of my comfort zone and took me to a place where I could see the side of myself and begin to make space for this other side of Jess. And I continue to make those changes in my wardrobe to reflect exactly where I'm at, where I want to go to.
Yeah, and it's an assumed thing that everybody wants to be comfortable in their clothes,
Yeah.
right? And for those who, went to, the loungewear, working from home, no judgments. Like for some people,
Yeah,
it's a relief. It's like, I don't actually
definitely.
about this right now, and I need that. And that is perfectly
Yeah.
okay. And I still always create space for myself for that. I still, once a week, I don't get dressed, and that is
Yeah,
perfectly okay. But
definitely.
I know the power of setting an intention that morning, and just that like few minutes of like going inward and asking myself, like, how do I want to feel today, and how do I express my creativity? Am I feeling bold? Am I feeling edgy? Am I feeling sassy? Am I feeling minimal? And so one of the things I teach my clients to try and explore is some power words. And the power words isn't necessarily just about the word, it's about the feeling that the word evokes in us, and how can we match our wardrobe to that feeling. And it's different for everybody. Like for me, red is a power color. It makes me feel
Hmm.
powerful. For others, it puts them, and it has nothing to do with their comfort zone. It's just they are more minimal. They like more neutrals.
Yeah.
Wearing red to them would not feel good to them,
Hmm.
feel authentic to them. So it's
Yeah.
not looking outward and what other people are doing to make them feel a certain way. It's the exploration and knowing what makes you feel good, but also taking the time to step out of your comfort zone too, because
Yeah.
brains want to make our lives easy. They want
Hmm.
less decisions, right? And so it's why
Yeah.
most women are only wearing 20% of their wardrobe, or why they're wearing this, the same five outfits over and over, is because they're
Yeah.
their life to be easy for them. And I get that. But if we can spend more time being intentional and creative, and see clothes as a way to like be creative. Like for me, it's
Yeah.
creative. I can only draw like a stick figure. Like I can't create things with my hands, but I can put together
Sure.
an awesome outfit that
Yeah.
expresses who I am. And so it's kind of like being playful and being curious
Mm.
and trying things a little bit outside of our comfort zone, and you can still feel comfortable.
Yes.
Just live in sweats. Like
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
it takes just as long to
Right.
put on an outfit that makes you feel good as it does to go and put on, those leggings and
Yeah.
oversized t-shirt. And so it's just checking in with, how do you want to feel today, and how will you feel best
Yeah.
supported?
Right.
For me, wearing color and a fun earring like taps into some energy, and it gives me the energy for,
Yeah.
especially for work. For those of us who are working from home, getting dressed, and like whether you wear makeup or your hair or not, whatever little ritual you have signals to your brain, like, I'm ready for my workday. I'm ready to transition
Right.
home to work. And that can be hard to do. And then at the end,
Hmm.
you're done work. So now I'm going to go get into my comfy clothes. It kind of signals that transition as well.
Yes. I love that you mentioned that as well, because we've had a bit of an experience with that, with regards to my husband coming home from work at the end of the day and keeping the office clothes on. It's his approach is completely different from when he then goes to the bedroom and switches his outfit and his uniform into something that's more comfortable, more relaxed, more maybe in his style that's not work appropriate. Um, and so and then his demeanor changes, and we all notice that, and we all kind of are influenced by that too. So I find that fascinating that you mentioned that, how it signals to us a transition.
Yep.
And I think of it in a way too from a macro perspective, looking at transitions in our own life too. A lot of people are going through some really big shifts and changes in their own life, in their career, absolutely, but even in their relationships, romantically, even with friends and family, in the relationship with ourselves. So I love that this is offering that opportunity to really connect with that truth, that, that authenticity that you mentioned. Um, and I really think what you do is giving a lot of voice and awareness to this subject, which is beautiful. For years, there were certain styles that I wanted to wear, but never allowed myself the permission to go out and try, because I thought, oh, it'll look this or that. And there's so many thoughts that kind of went into my own head. Yeah, so how will this be seen by others? Especially if I'm dressing for my own creative expression, it presents a little bit of vulnerability too, or puts you in a little bit of a
Absolutely.
vulnerable position.
Absolutely. I remember for years. So I've loved makeup since I was 4 years old. So it was, and my mom doesn't wear makeup. So it was never like
Okay.
that I felt conditioned like girls have to wear makeup to look pretty.
Right.
It was like, to me, it was like paint, right?
Right. Yeah.
Makeup on my face.
Yeah.
And as I got older, I always wanted to wear like red lipstick. Right now I'm wearing like hot pink, but I always wanted to
Yeah.
wear lipstick, and I would put it on and I would take it off because it just made me feel unsafe. It made me feel
Right.
seen. I was worried, is it the wrong color? Are other people going to comment on it? Um, are people going to judge me or think, I'm a certain person because I'm wearing red lipstick? And
Yeah.
the beauty of aging in my 40s is you just start to care a lot less about all of those questions that used to come
Yeah.
in my head. And so I know that is, I believe that's part of like, the self-discovery as you age and
Yeah.
go through different, seasons of your life. But I would love to communicate to women at a younger age
Mm.
to, and I know it's hard because we're conditioned to fit in with society, right? Like
Right.
part of our survival
Yeah.
instinct, right? So I get that we have that pressure to want to fit in and not stand out. Um, but at some point you stop being in integrity with yourself.
Yeah.
You hit the point where you're like, I'm not
Right.
integrity from with myself, and I'm living
Yeah.
for other people and their expectations. And at some point you need to make the
Yeah.
decision in what feels right for you and what living in
Yeah.
integrity is for you, and
Mm.
choosing to how to express yourself is one of them, whether it's verbal or nonverbal. Like for me, like my clothes, it's a nonverbal communication to myself and to others.
Absolutely. Oh, I love that. Now, I think it's fascinating that we're talking about self-expression, connecting to our authenticity as well, in with intentional wardrobes. We're actually in the energy of full moon right now. And the full moon is actually in Leo, which is all about our self-expression. If you think of Leo, you think of the lion or lioness roar and standing proudly and confidently, and with like fearlessly and standing in your own light, in your own energy. So what kind of tips would you have for somebody, or just one little tip for someone who's looking to add more personality or more authenticity and have that connection with their wardrobe and how they're able to express themselves in a non-verbal format?
Okay, so I have two. So
Okay, perfect.
one is the power words, and so I
Mm-hmm.
do actually have a handout, like a free download. I'm not sure if I have, but I can find the link. If anybody wants it, they can send me a message. I can give them the link,
Yeah.
and I take them through and I give them a huge list of like power words just to help like build inspiration. Because sometimes it's like thinking of words to want to express yourself can kind of be hard.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just kind of gives you like a jumping off point. And so
Yeah.
choose like 5 words that represent how you want to feel or
Mm.
you think that like would represent your personality, and
Okay.
connect, like get in your body and tap into your senses, and get
Mm.
centered with your breath, tap into all your 5 senses so you can go inward
Mm.
and like feel what that word, what that feeling feels like in your
Mm.
body. So you got to really be present with
Yeah.
it. And so you start to tune in and you're trying to get out of your head, because in our head, that's all telling us all of our fears. It's the one that's like, society's
Yeah.
conditioned us. Like if you have this certain body part, you need to hide it and you can't show it. And our brain lies to us. Our body doesn't. So we need to get into our body and actually get used to hearing what it's trying to tell us, like in our gut,
Mm.
right? And
Yeah.
so it's tapping in and choosing those power words that make us feel, yes, this is me. And then
Yeah.
what I suggest people do is then go to like something like Pinterest and
Mm-hmm.
start researching outfits. It could be colors, it could be a specific piece, it could be like, ooh, I've seen a moto jacket on somebody and I really like that. And I'm going to type in moto jacket and see what pops up. Or
Yeah.
you can be like, ooh, I saw somebody wear red pants. I'm going to look up outfits with red pants and just
Right.
start to research and create like I call it a vision board. It's kind of like when we create vision boards for, what we want to draw into our life this year. And what's important when you do this activity is no judgments. It's
Okay.
curiosity and playfulness and kindness. There's no, oh, well, I don't have that body shape, so I can't pull it off. Or I've never worn that color before, so I can't pull it off. Like, no judgments. This is solely about finding what speaks to us. And, you know, like, if you pick out something and then after a while you're like, you know what, no, that's not me, that's fine. Like, delete it later. Like, this is just all about
It's experimenting a bit too.
experience. It's just about experiment,
Yeah.
see what you're drawn to, keep
Yeah.
your head, no judgments, and then analyze it after you've created it. And this can happen over a few days. Like, I'm still updating my winter vision board. I have
Yeah.
a new vision board each season. So like winter, spring, summer, fall. Usually my fall and my spring are like my biggest boards because
Right.
the seasons
Long. Yeah.
they're longer.
Yeah.
Fall can usually take us into winter, and our spring
Yeah.
take us into summer. And so I'm constantly like updating it. Like, I'm always just curious, and I pay attention to like, what are other people wearing? What is somebody wearing on a TV show? And because I can tap into my body as soon as I see it, I can feel it. Ooh, I like that. I might go on Pinterest and like research what I've seen. Like right now, I want like all of the neckties. I saw it on a
Oh, wow. Yeah.
show, and I'm like, oh, I want to wear a necktie. And so I'm searching neckties. And so build this vision board, and then analyze it. Like, what are some commonalities that you're seeing? Is it color combinations? Maybe there's a new pattern that you're drawn to that you never thought of. Maybe it's a new outfit formula. And so maybe you don't have the same body shape or the exact same pieces as an outfit that you see on Pinterest, but you have something close to it. And so the outfit formula is like, break it down, like long cardigan, striped t-shirt, jean, sandal. Like, that's a formula, and go and try and recreate it in your own wardrobe to get playful and to give you inspiration ideas, and then tap in. Like, does this make me connect with how I want to feel? Does it help me connect with my power words? And so that's a good place to start. And so the things that we bring into our wardrobe that helps us tap into how we want to feel, I call them hero pieces. And so we need to have a balance of like I call them expanders. So the expanders, they tend to be more neutral. So they're the ones that when they enter our wardrobe, they help us create more from less. And then the hero pieces are like the wow pieces. Those are the we wear them, it helps us like feel something. And so we make sure we have the right kind of balance of both. Sometimes so many women are like, they just want all of the fun. And then, like, nothing goes together.
So they all stand on their own.
Right. And then some people, they have too many expanders and then they feel bored.
Yes.
And then also giving yourself space. Now, I know like most people aren't shopping in person right now. Or when I used to be able to just go into the store, I would sometimes, like, I always shop with intention. I always have a shopping list. And I usually put my vision board, what gaps I'm missing. Like, so I see what, you know, maybe if I don't have something on my vision board, then I might add it to my list and I go and try it. But sometimes I'm just like, you know what? I just want to go without any intention other than getting out of my comfort zone.
Right.
And
which is that's an intention in itself too.
Right. And so like, you never would have thought animal print, but something, you know what? I'm just going to try this. Like, what is the worst that's going to happen?
Exactly. Well, it was so interesting actually, because I had gotten, like, I saw that post and I thought, oh, animal print, that makes so much sense. And then like a couple stories later, I saw that one of my good friends was actually giving away or selling all her clothes. And one of the pieces happened to be this leopard print cardigan, which was perfect. And I got it the next day. It was like super easy, super quick. It helped her out. It helped me out. It's like a win-win, which I'm and another win because I love also going secondhand if possible to save from, you know, producing more pieces. And I found too, like, that flashy cardigan, it's not something I wear every day, so it's a trendy piece, and that's okay. I wear it when I get that feeling, I guess, to bring it out.
Yeah, shopping secondhand is amazing. But it is really time consuming. You have to have patience. And for some people, it's easier than others. And so if shopping secondhand isn't as easy or it seems so overwhelming, the other solution to produce, you know, adding to production is to be intentional in your wardrobe in the first place and wear just more of what you purchased. Because I find a lot of women go on that buy, purge, buy, purge, buy, purge cycle, and it's just repeating.
Yeah.
They keep hoping that, oh, if I just keep buying and purging, it'll fix itself.
It'll make sense. Yeah.
If you're on that cycle, that's indication that something is missing. There's a piece of information missing, and I'm here to help those women fill that gaps in knowledge and guide, coach them into creating a more purposeful and fun wardrobe. I think they can go hand in hand.
Absolutely. And which I think is so sustainable too, right? Like this guidance and this information is something that I know for myself, but your clients as well, and even your community and social media are going to be following and making their decisions based off of, which is huge. I think when you know better, you can make better decisions. And so I'm a big advocate on learning and then embodying and bringing that lesson into our life. And this way it's every day too, that we're going through it.
Because some of them are like, I'm really good at purging. So like, I'm good. And I'm like, well, the fact I'm always purging. So I was like that. And I speak to it because I was on that cycle. I was always on like the buy and purge. When I used to, in my previous career, I would bring in like bagfuls of old clothes to the girls and they would like fight over my clothes. And I stopped that cycle.
Right.
And so I knew that there was some information missing. And so now when like my clients hire me, they're like, you know, Amanda, should I purge before we work together? And I'm like, no. You actually need to learn something.
You need to see it.
Those that we're purging. And so I've created, so my background's in psychology, so I'm all about data.
Yeah.
I created
an
exit interview for your clothes that you've decided not to. So
that's smart.
When I teach my clients on how to audit their closet, you know, with purpose and intention, you know, I have certain piles that they make, and the pieces that don't earn the keep, we put those through an exit interview. It's kind of like a bad ex-boyfriend or girlfriend or partner. We want to learn from it so that we know like what worked, what didn't work, so we can make better choices in the future. And sometimes when we're just blindly purging or doing the Marie Kondo, like kiss it if it doesn't bring us joy and leave, we're not learning anything that way. We haven't learned. So I have like an exit interview that are like I think I have like 15 like common things as to maybe why it wasn't working for you, and you put like a check beside that reason, and then you start to see some behaviors that you wouldn't have seen before. So what I learned myself was one of the things that I constantly made a lot of errors in was being swayed by the sale. And so knowing that
makes sense
and helped change my
absolutely. Oh, I love that so much. Now, I did want to ask you this one other question. Actually, I've got two. Okay, there was another one. It's come back. I'm curious to know when women are going through their closets and, you know, they're all of a sudden seeing the story that's been told to themselves, and they're starting to make those connections with their wardrobe. I see it happening very similar in our home spaces and our decor. I mean, it certainly crosses over. Is there maybe words of wisdom or advice to help women in those moments when they're like, you know what, now all of a sudden I don't relate to anything in my wardrobe. What do I do?
So what do you mean? Like,
So it's more like that self-compassion or our ways on how to appreciate the new insight about why a decision may have been made to get a wardrobe.
Yes, if you haven't done like a deep dive in your wardrobe for a while, some emotions that come up. So a lot of the time when I work with my clients one-on-one, they have to do some homework for me before we start our consultation, which I'm sure you do as well. And the last paragraph that I say to them is like, you need to be gentle with yourself because some come up and you're probably going to feel frustrated. It could trigger like old trauma
Trigger.
or an old
Yes.
emotion, and just remind yourself like this is part of the process. This is an indication that like more work needs to be done here. You're here for a reason, but to
Yeah.
be gentle with yourself and kind towards yourself, because when we come in from a place of judgment and shame, it puts us in
Mm.
that fight or flight mode.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
we don't learn anything from it, or we usually,
It won't come in. Yeah.
but if we can, if we're feeling
Yeah.
something, feeling an emotion that's a little bit disruptive, um, look at it with curiosity and kind
Mm.
passion. And actually, when we do it that way, it triggers the learning part of our brain instead of the fight or
Yeah.
flight. And then we can see things a little bit more clearly and make a,
Yeah.
learn from it going forward.
Yeah.
So I've had women cry with me in their wardrobes, cry with me
Yeah.
online. Like
Yeah.
there's some deep stuff in there that can, not with all women.
Yeah.
There's some deep stuff that comes up about our wardrobes. A
Yeah.
lot of it has to do with body image
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
some trauma that was told to them. It could be past eating disorders. It could be
Yeah.
dysmorphia. It could be living
Yeah.
a larger body and never
Mm.
having clothes available for you. Like there's some deep stuff
Yeah.
that comes up. And so as a coach, like I'm there to like hold that space, give you that,
Yeah.
feel it, and then help you move through it.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I love that. And the simple fact that um, I see it like triggers as a sign of growth
Yeah.
always. And it causes myself just to generally go inward and reflect and to question, well, what happened here and why am I reacting in this way? And I truly feel like it's that perfect chance to feel it, to heal it.
Yeah.
So we make a new choice, a new decision based on that positive intention and coming from the heart space rather than the head space, of course, whereas our inner critic is there. Yeah. And we can have some doubt in that, but in the heart space, we're connecting into that authenticity and the positivity and the optimism and expressing that and operating from that place, which is just, I see it as such a ripple effect
Yeah.
in everything that we do. And that's why I very very much wanted to have you on, just to connect, to share this information, because I see creating an intentional life popping up in so many different areas within our home, looking at our decor and how our home is set up, but also our wardrobe, because that is so supportive to our personal energy, and setting us up for that path that we want to go down and that success on that journey too. And that there are going to be things that pop up along the way, and that's okay. If anything, that's just the perfect sign that you're on the right track, and we just work through it,
Yeah.
right? So that's perfect. I do have one question, before we end this collaboration, and that's, what are the intentions behind your wardrobe today?
Mine.
Yeah.
So my wardrobe right now, my intention is, so I've created an intention, like a word of the year for 2021.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it's connection. So
Oh, yeah, so is mine.
yeah,
Love that.
it is. I think it's a really common one for a lot of people this year, because I think they
Hmm.
realized, what they learned last year was that probably the life they were living, they were very disconnected from themselves. And
Absolutely.
slowing down brought that into their awareness to see it. Right?
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
so for me, it's having a deeper connection with myself and my family and nature and
Yeah.
my friends. And
Yeah.
so how my wardrobe is going to support that is, well, a connection with how I want to feel, and how I want to feel. It, it shifts and changes. For me, actually, this year is all about color.
Oh, I
Like
love that.
how, and
Yeah.
tons of scientific research and how color,
Yeah.
affects us. You know all of this.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
I'm following you.
yeah. and, and so what colors speak to me and help me connect with myself, and right now it's like bold, vibrant, contrasting colors. So
So interesting. Yeah.
I've built a good foundational wardrobe, and now I want to be bringing in a little bit more fun. Like I've got
Yeah.
I have my expanders, and now it's just about what am I
Definitely.
being drawn to. And the thing is, that's why I create new vision boards each season, because like
Yeah.
new things come in. Most times I have most of the stuff. It's just me
Hmm.
creating a few fun things, whether it's a new
Yeah.
earring or a new color or a new color
Yeah.
combination to try. And sometimes it's just seeing something outside of the box. So maybe I have a piece
Mm.
that I wear one way all the time, and then I kind of get stuck in that. And then use
Hmm.
my vision board to kind of get me out of that, think outside the box and try something new. So that's important.
Yeah.
But
I love
one of
that.
the things is I'm spending more time outside. It's
Hmm.
not buying
Yeah.
blazers anymore. Like blazers, even though I love them and they make me feel awesome, like I'm good with the ones that I have. Usually
Yeah.
a new blazer that enters my wardrobe, maybe one or two a year, just because I love them so much and they make me feel amazing. But
Yeah.
I'm not wearing them. I'm not reaching for them. I'm actually spending way more time outside. So like what's going on my shopping list this year is like on John's.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Um, like I want to get rid of the underwire bras. So I've been trying
Yes.
bras, like the
Yeah.
getting rid of the underwire.
Hmm.
Um, One of my core values is sustainability. So how my wardrobe is going to support that is okay. I'm going in it. So I'm trying the NYX period panties so that I can
Yes.
waste, with
Yeah.
pads and tampons and all of that. Um,
Definitely.
and buying the down-filled coats so that when it's super cold outside, I don't have a reason not to go.
Get out. Yeah.
Bikes on my boots, so when we go hiking as a family, I can do it. So like it's more of like, where am I going to be spending my time? So that's where the wardrobe needs
Lifestyle.
to learn,
Yeah.
right? Like I'm actually really
Yeah.
good. I eat a whole lot for my everyday life, working day to day. Now it's more of like I want to spend more time outside. So how can my wardrobe support that?
I love that so much. Absolutely. And I'd love to hear your review on the NYX period panties
Oh,
because
love,
that's on my, oh, you do, oh,
love.
good. Because I already have like the Diva Cup. So I'm out of, having pads and tampons already, but I'm super curious about switching my Luna pads for an actual period underwear. So
Yeah.
that's great.
I've done like when I use them, they're called mama cloths.
Okay. Yeah.
So I did that. I cloth diapered my daughter who's
Yes.
9. So I went to mama cloth as well, and I had
Yeah.
a top loader, which
Hmm.
did all really well. And then when we moved, we went to our front loader, and it doesn't use enough water for me to get
Oh,
clean enough. And
yeah.
so I stopped using them. And then,
Okay.
but I want to go back to this because sustainability is
Right.
a core value of mine, and it's something that I haven't been living in alignment enough that made me
Sure.
feel good. And so I
Yep.
want to be intentional on what changes can I make right now. And
Yeah.
so I tried it, and I tried like the heavy period NYX panties, and
Yes.
it was on like day 2 of my period, and
Yes. Yeah.
for like up to 10 hours.
Amazing.
Well,
Amazing.
I just bought one. I'm buying more.
Yep. Oh, that is so great to hear because that gives me more confidence to go ahead because it is an investment.
Yeah.
Um,
But start,
but I mean,
everybody's a little bit
yeah,
like,
true.
I always give that heads up to people
Yeah.
like, oh, it worked for Amanda, so it's going to work for me. That's not the case. But
Okay. Darn.
I tried one, but like it worked for me.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
I do rinse it out after use.
Yeah.
Other people
Yep.
are like, ew, I don't want to.
Oh, I would do
Yeah.
that. I want it to last as long as possible and get as clean as possible.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's, but yeah, I was so pleasantly surprised. I was so scared there was,
Good.
and there wasn't.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. And that's so good to hear. And it's inspiring and motivating to go forward with that decision because I think when we can shift those every day or every month items to be more sustainable overall, I mean, of course, from a financial perspective, you're saving a ton of money. So the investment is really worthwhile in the long run. But especially environmentally as well, when you're not having to dispose of an item
Yeah.
multiple times throughout a day, throughout a month. Like, I mean, it adds up pretty quickly, similar to cloth diapering. Yeah, we went that road too.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you being here. Is there anything you'd love to share about what you're up to in your business? Our viewers, what they may want to hear about how they can work with you to create an intentional wardrobe as well.
So I work, one way to work with me is one-on-one. That's if you're like, I want to go the, like, I'm not playing around with this. Like, I want to find
Ready?
a long lasting change in my
Yeah.
working one-on-one with me. Really, like, we start at the basics, like right into your wardrobe,
Yeah.
get you to where you want to go in creating outfits that work for your life, that make you feel good, and it makes your life easy. So there's the
Yeah.
one-on-one, but that is like a more time
Mm-hmm.
effort, a bigger commitment,
Yeah.
bigger investment. But I want to make sure that what I do is available for all women. And so I have, like, you bought my workbook. Um,
Yes.
that's only like 27, I think it's only like
Oh,
$20.
yeah.
So my
Yeah.
workbook, and I have a few videos like as bonuses that come with it. Actually, I'm probably going to update a video for that workbook. So that's the beauty of the thing is
Woo.
workbook. And I'm like, ooh, I want to do this. I'm going to be doing something special for those who bought the workbook. I'm going to update a video in it, just to kind of give you guys a boost and refresher. And for those who are maybe more of a visual learner and want videos in company,
Yeah. I love videos. I'm so visual.
there's the workbook that takes you through a lot of the process on what I do with my clients, but it more relies
Awesome.
on you to do the work and apply it and
Yes.
all of that.
Yeah.
But I am right now working on some courses, some mini courses. I do membership.
Oh, yes.
I do have a membership where you pay monthly and you do have access to all of the courses that I've made. And I give like weekly outfits and I do monthly style challenges and we work on like a personal growth
Yeah.
theme each month. I give workshops. I bring in experts. I do have the Style Insider Academy, which is like my favorite because I love community.
Yeah.
And so I do have the Style Insider Academy, but that's going to be shifting and how I do that soon. So I'm going to be
Ooh,
pulling
that's exciting.
out and selling those separately
Yeah.
so that it kind of touches on, I mean, my background's also in education. So I realize that everybody
Yeah.
needs to learn differently and not everybody is at the point where they can invest a lot of money. And I want to make
Right.
that my services and feeling good in your wardrobe is open to all people, no matter their
Accessible.
background in life and where they can afford.
Absolutely. I mean, there's definitely some little changes or big changes that can be made. In either case, you're moving forward, and that is such a beautiful thing.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so your social media tag, we've got that here. If you're joining the video, it is Simply Stylish, right?
Simply,
Simply Stylish.
simply stylish.
Okay.
Yeah.
.ca. Okay. I knew, I figured there might have been something.
Used to be Simply Stylish SJ, but
Yes. Okay.
like, you know what? I honestly, most people I work with now aren't in St.
Yeah,
John. So
that's right.
it's, I change it to .ca.
Smart. That's awesome. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I learned so much, and I definitely saw a lot of similarities in what we do. So it was really nice to connect with you here in this space. And too, like you're 20 minutes down the road. It's hilarious.
Person, because we haven't met in person yet, have we?
We haven't. We have very similar friends. So it's like we're around each other.
So we will meet. We will go
Oh yeah.
someday when we're allowed.
Yeah.
Thank
When we're like, absolutely, because we have some pretty amazing coffee shops nearby, so we have that opportunity. Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Well, have a wonderful afternoon,
you.
and we'll be talking.
Okay. Bye, Jess.
Awesome. Bye.